When I say Viking, what pops into your head? Be honest, is it a wild-eyed warrior with horns on his helmet storming a coastal village in the pouring rain? That's what Hollywood sold us. But it's not the real story. Let's bust the biggest Viking myths and see what history actually tells us. First up, the horned helmet. Nope, not a single Viking helmet with horns has ever been found by archaeologists. The only real Viking helmet we've dug up, Jernmundbu, Norway, is just a simple rounded iron cap. Horns? Those came from 19th century opera costumes and artists trying to make Vikings look extra scary. The truth, Vikings cared about function, not flashy fantasy. Second, were Vikings just bloodthirsty raiders? Sure, they raided, but that was only part of the story. Most Viking men were farmers, growing barley, raising sheep and tending their land. Others were traders, traveling incredible distances to swap goods as far as the Middle East. They were skilled craftsmen too, making everything from swords to gorgeous jewelry. And they founded towns in places like Dublin and Normandy. Fun fact, the same Vikings who sacked English monasteries, they later built cities and ruled as local kings. Myth number 3. The idea that Viking means one people, one nation. Actually, Viking is more like a job description. It means to go raiding or exploring by sea. Real Vikings came from 3 separate regions, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Norwegians sailed west to Iceland, Greenland, and even North America. Swedes headed east, toward Russia and into the Islamic world. Danes focused on Britain and mainland Europe. There was never a single Viking king or unified government. Just lots of independent chieftains and clans. Another big one. Were Vikings all giant super warriors? Not really. The average Viking man was about 5'7". Women were about 5'2". They were strong and fit from daily hard work but not monsters. Their real strength? Military tactics, think shield walls, quick raids, and most important, their legendary ships. Speaking of legends, did Vikings only worship Thor and Odin? In the early days, yes. They honored Norse gods like Thor, Odin, Freya, and Loki. But by around 900 AD, many Vikings started converting to Christianity, often for political reasons. The two faiths sometimes mixed. Even Christian Vikings might be buried with both a cross and a Thor's hammer. What about Viking women? Were they just property? Not at all. Viking women could own land, inherit property, divorce their husbands, and run farms and businesses. Some took up arms as shield maidens. A bit controversial, but there's evidence, like the famous Birka burial in Sweden. Powerful women, both real and legendary, were celebrated in Viking sagas. Did Vikings stay close to home? Far from it. They were the best navigators of their era. Vikings reached Iceland, Greenland, and even Canada, what they called Vinland, almost 500 years before Columbus. They founded Kievan Rus' in Russia, traveled to Constantinople, and even served as elite bodyguards for the Byzantine emperor. And finally, was the Viking Age just war and chaos? No way. Vikings gave us language. Sky, egg, knife, all from Old Norse. Their parliament in Iceland, the Althing, is the oldest still active. Their longships were engineering masterpieces, and their sagas and runestones are still studied today. So the next time you picture a Viking, skip the horns and the Hollywood cliches. These were complex, ambitious people. Farmers, traders, explorers, and yes, sometimes warriors. The truth? Vikings weren't monsters. They were makers of history.